Once again, it's on. Be Marsh hard. Be Marsh hard like corn liquor. Ah, shit, nah, man. Be Marsh Boxing back at it with another live stream, man. You see the title one time, man. You know, what is Deontay Wilder Extremists? What's their real agenda, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, the reason I made this video, man, is, you know, after this Dillian White performance, after he just starched out the man, left that man, Lucas Brown, comatose, you know what I'm saying? It was a big victory for him, you know what I'm saying? Real talk, you know. It was actually the best performance I've ever seen from Dillian White, you know what I'm saying, in a boxing ring. Albeit, yeah, it was against the older Lucas Brown. I never really rated neither of these guys, Dillian White or Lucas Brown, you know what I'm saying? But hey, he did what he had to do, and actually that's the main objective for any boxer, regardless of which opponent he's facing, whether it's a top-tier opponent or a man who is a bottom feeder, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, the thing the reason why I'm asking this question is because, man, you know, Dillian White is a guy, last I checked, you know what I'm saying, them fellas is like the number one position in the WBC, you know what I mean? He's the number one contender, you know what I'm saying? Now, I asked this question, man, what is really the extremist agenda, you know what I'm saying? Do these hardcore, I'm not even going to call them hardcore, I'm going to call them extremists. Is their agenda really in favor for Deontay Wilder? Are they really concerned about Deontay Wilder's well-being, his welfare, and actually Deontay Wilder living, you know, a high quality of life, you know what I'm saying? I'm not too sure, you know what I'm saying, because look, the first time I heard about Dillian White being proposed to have to fight this man, Deontay Wilder, was sometime last year, you know what I'm saying? Eddie Hearn and them was talking about $3-5 million. And I'm a massive Deontay Wilder fan, but I'm not an extremist. I'm not an extremist for no motherfucking fighter, dogs, because I'm a grown-ass man, you know what I'm saying? I left them fanboy ages when I was a little young boy, you know what I'm saying, in my teen years, you know what I mean? Fighters come, fighters go. Your favorite fighter wins, your favorite fighter loses, you know what I'm saying? And it's not that I don't want to have my heart broken and invest so much in any particular fighter. Nah, I don't give a fuck, man. I invested a lot in the Rigondeaux Lomachenko fight. I invested a lot in Dongo and Crawford, you know what I'm saying? You check it and, hey, the results were the results. Ain't nothing to it. I slept and woke up the next day like nothing happened, you know what I'm saying? And just kept it pushing, moving along with life, you know what I mean? But Deontay Wilder, I said, man, dogs, hey, Wilder, Bronze Bomber, the number one man in the division, according to some. Dogs, go out to England and go get that guap, man. You ain't never made $3-5 million in your whole career in any particular fight, you know what I mean? His biggest payday was against Luis Ortiz, 2-point-something million, you know what I'm saying? Go for Wilder, you know what I'm saying? His paydays are stepping up, and so is his exposure around the world and his popularity. You know what I'm saying? Let's say in the United States, his exposure in the United States, I can't really talk too much about outside the United States, you know what I mean? Although when I was back in my country in Kenya, you know what I'm saying, doing, you know, the New Year times, I did see an Anthony Joshua poster, a billboard actually, you know what I'm saying? You know, it was basically like a cable TV package that, you know, a big billboard that, you know, a cable TV package that a particular cable service back in Kenya is providing, and they were showing a sports package, and the number one guy they had up there for boxing at least was a big billboard of Anthony Joshua, you know what I'm saying? And whether it was for basketball, they had guys like Steph Curry and James Harden, you know what I'm saying? Whether it was soccer, they probably had Ronaldo and Messi or whomever, you know what I mean? But I say that Wilder should have gone to get that money, you know what I'm saying? That was last year, you check it. Now, a lot of these Deontay Wilder extremists, you know what I'm saying? And when I say extremists, you can't categorize me as an extremist. I'm a fan. I'm a fanatic. I'm bomb squad for life, you know what I mean? But my best interests are for Deontay Wilder to do what's best for him in his career, you know what I'm saying? You ain't see me over here talking about this Wilder and AJ business too much. You would have thought B Marsh Boxing would have made a DuckTales video for the man Anthony Joshua. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to root for Wilder to knock off AJ's block. You already know. I don't have to tell y'all that twice. If you know my channel, you already know what it is. Let me see who's in the chat, man. The Fox Strikes. What's happening, Fox Strikes? He says, Bomb Squad. He says, greatest since Muhammad Ali. Yeah, he's probably being sarcastic, you know what I mean? But I don't know about if he's the greatest since Ali. But I get where you coming from, man. Fox Strikes, you know what I'm saying? But you know, these Wilder fanatics are saying that this guy Dillian White doesn't deserve a shot at Wilder. Now they're playing the same games that they played for Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. You know, the Anthony Joshua extremists was saying that the man doesn't need you check it. Yeah, man, what going on, Beats? I see you in the chat. He says thumbs up the vid. Good looks, fam. Give thanks, you know what I mean? You know, but you know, they said, oh, Deontay Wilder don't deserve a fight with Anthony Joshua. You know what I'm saying? Well, now they're doing the same thing for Dillian White, you know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. You check it. That's ridiculous. You know, the man Dillian White is in position. He's doing what he has to do. He's fought in two eliminators to be in this position. You check it. Um, and I just believe that the man Dillian White has earned his shot. I do believe Wilder will beat him up. You know what I'm saying? No matter where it is. The fight could be in Brooklyn. It could be in Alabama. It could be in London. It could be anywhere on the planet. You know what I'm saying? I will favor Deontay Wilder to beat him up. You check it? And I think Deontay Wilder should have that belief in himself. And I'm not saying he doesn't. But this proposition has been put on the table since last year. You know what I'm saying? I believe that the man Wilder should also have some incentives in that contract if he does decide to, you know, listen to what Eddie Hearn and them are talking about as far as trying to make a fight with Dillian White, you know what I mean? And I'm not even going to talk too much about Anthony Joshua because whole time, all y'all Deontay Wilder extremists knew damn well Anthony Joshua is in a unification fight come March 31st with this guy, what the man name is, Joseph Parker, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't even really talked too much about that fight. To be honest, it's not the fight I was interested in. I'd have rather seen Anthony Joshua versus Wilder. You check it? But Deontay Wilder, also, and his extremist fans, they know that the dude is occupied. And fellas was putting a battery in this man Wilder's back when they knew he had the biggest fight of his career in front of him with Luis Ortiz. You check it? I picked Wilder to stop him in the 9th or 10th round, and sure enough, my prediction came correct. I knew he'd beat the man Ortiz, but to me, I was like, man, forget about everything else, Wilder. You got an opponent in front of you. Check it. Don't even worry about what the man AJ is doing over there across the pond. You know what I mean? That man is in a unification fight. You check it. Might get 3 titles at the end of the day if he does beat Joseph Parker, or vice versa. Parker could have 3 titles if he beats AJ. Anything could happen. It's the heavyweight division. You check it. I want to see Wilder next, but from the inclination from what's been happening so far, and even the rumors of fellas like Anthony Joshua, if he does so happen to unify with Joseph Parker, get 3 belts, he might be coming to the United States, but to fight Gerald Miller. You check it. If that happens, so be it. I'm not worried about it. Just like the man Deontay Wilder should be trying to keep it pushing and trying to fight any and everybody else. You know what I'm saying? This man Wilder needs to be fighting anybody he can get his hands on. And Dillian White is a perfect candidate. This man just got a massive knockout on HBO. Got a little exposure in the United States. You know what I mean? And I see fellas in the chat. What the deal? I see Darius King Irvin. What's going on, big man? He's in the chat. You know what I'm saying? He says, let me tell you what the man says. The problem with AJ Wilder, they keep pulling up another fighter, another roadblock. They wanted Wilder to fight AJ's mandatory Ortiz. Wilder done that. Now they want him to fight White. Wilder said guarantee him the Wilder fight in the contract and they'll fight Dillian. But Eddie says beating Dillian doesn't get you an AJ fight. What's the point of beating White without AJ guarantee? The best should be fighting the best. That's what King Darius Irving is saying. You know what I mean? And I agree with you 100%. The Fox Strikes, he's in the chat. What the deal, man? He says, having been through the Floyd Pac-Man thing, it's whatever for me. I feel, hey, I feel you on that, Fox Strikes. You know, I was one of those people who I thought that fight would never happen, you know what I mean? Especially when Pacquiao took a controversial decision loss to Tim Bradley. You know, it looked like the powers that be were basically paying Pacquiao back for that controversial decision he got against Marquez in the 3rd fight, you know what I mean? And then the 4th fight with Marquez, he got put to sleep, so I put that fight to bed, you know what I'm saying? And Yeah, they made it happen. They made it happen in 2015. But that's basically how I'm looking at this fight. If AJ wants to fight Wilder, all he gotta do is snap his fingers. And I agree with the man Darius King Irving. I was even just about to get into that. If Wilder does agree with the fight to fight the man White, especially in London, like I said, there got to be some incentives in the contract that he has to get the Anthony Joshua fight next. You know what I'm saying? And look, the man King Darius in the chat says, what's the point? What did he say exactly? He said something about what's the point of beating White without AJ guarantee? Well, to be honest, I agree, but it will be the biggest payday of his career. You know what I'm saying? And I said it like this, man. Up until the point when this man, both guys are free, and if this man Anthony Joshua and or Joseph Parker, but I am favoring Anthony Joshua, whomever comes out with them 3 belts, that's when I'm gonna put the pressure on fellas like Anthony Joshua. Like, look, now it's not about anything else other than undisputed. You know what I'm saying? You want to be the best. You want to talk about legacy and career and, your future and, all these type of things. Well, all that stops because all you got to do is get in the ring and make an undisputed fight happen. I put the pressure on. I didn't even have to do that with Budden and Dongle. They made it happen. I put the pressure on Andre Ward. I probably lost mass subscribers because of Andre Ward nuthuggers who didn't want him to fight Stevenson. I said they need to make that fight happen. That's for the undisputed at light heavyweight, a great division with a lot of good fighters. Probably one of the best divisions, if not the best in boxing. You know what I mean? But I do think that some Deontay Wilder extremists, they don't have this man's best his best interest. They're not really concerned about his best interest. They just fascinated, infatuated with this UK-US rivalry with Wilder and AJ. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, I want to see the fight just like everybody else. Even casuals have been asking me about that fight, you know what I mean? So that fight, there's nothing to marinate right now. Casual fans are asking me, when's that man? What's up with that man, AJ and Wilder fight? And I like to hear that, you know what I'm saying? Because that means people are paying attention. You check it. But if the man Anthony Joshua doesn't want to get in the ring anytime soon with Wilder, and I'm not saying that just out the blue, I've read articles with this guy saying he's scared of losing. Now, that's all I got to hear. The man said he's scared of losing, you know what I'm saying? And he basically tried to say most guys are scared of losing. Well, looks like Deontay Wilder is not, you know what I'm saying? Whether he is internally, we don't know. But his outside, how vocal he is about the fight, he wants to fight, you know what I'm saying? And he's willing to, it doesn't have to be a 50-50, you know what I'm saying? I forgot what percentages he agreed to that he would settle with to fight the man Anthony Joshua, you know what I'm saying? But if your best interests are for Wilder to thrive, make that money, support his family, then he needs to knock out all these opponents in the heavyweight division, you know what I'm saying? Clean everybody out just so the man Anthony Joshua is put in a corner like, I got nobody else to fight besides the man Deontay Wilder. Now that's easier said than done. All fighters are gonna flock towards Anthony Joshua to try to get that try to get that big payday, you know what I'm saying? Povetkin look like he might be next in line, you know what I mean? He got a fight with the man David Price. I expect him to knock him out, starch him out, and then he's a mandatory, you know what I'm saying? And we heard Anthony Joshua when he beat, was it Takam? He's talking about he has mandatories to fulfill. Last I checked, unifications trump mandatories. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he did take a unification fight with the man Joseph Parker, you know what I'm saying? But truth be told, if fellas is really Wilder fans, you know what I'm saying, you ain't gonna wait for this guy Anthony Joshua, you know what I mean? Wilder could create his own legacy, do his own thing. If the fight happens, it happens. It's all on Eddie Hearn and them's part, you know what I'm saying? Put out the right numbers, make it a fight where Deontay Wilder has incentives as far as, gets a decent split, you know what I'm saying? And, you know what I'm saying? Then the fight could happen, you know what I mean? But it's all up to Eddie Hearn and AJ. But until then, Wilder has a lot of options, man. He has a lot of options. You check it. I'd like, fellas like Povetkin, I still would have liked to see that fight. Now, would Povetkin come to USA to fight this guy? I highly doubt it. Would Povetkin turn down an Anthony Joshua fight to fight Wilder? I highly doubt it. So Wilder's also in a tough position, but he just got to knock. It should start by fighting all the American opponents. Them fellas. Truth be told, on the Lilo, them fellas, Wilder and the other American, the kid from BK, Big Baby Miller, that fella's got a kind of little dispute. Big Baby Miller was basically talking about he was the first dude to be with Deontay Wilder's shorty. His girlfriend, the little red bone that's pregnant right now, that with Deontay's child. You know what I mean? And he was talking about, hey, he used to be with shorty, what. So Wilder got, according to Big Baby Miller, he got some ill feelings towards Miller because of that shorty. You know what I mean? And there have been enough fights, enough situations have happened for fellas fighting over women. You know what I mean? Now, that makes a good storyline right there. You know what I'm saying? Wilder should try to get to these American fellas before Anthony Joshua does. So there ain't nobody else for him to fight. Like I said, easier said than done, because all Eddie Hearn and them gotta flash them English sterling pounds and entice fellas to come over to the UK, and fellas will be on it quick, fast, and in a hurry. You know what I'm saying? But fellas talking about Dillian White don't need to fight this guy Wilder, and he don't need he ain't deserved he hasn't done enough to deserve a fight with Wilder because he beat Lucas Brown. Well, I probably said that too, but truth be told, the man has gone through two title eliminators. He's got through them. What did Gerald Washington do to deserve a fight with Deontay Wilder? Not a damn thing. All he did was look scary versus Eddie Chambers, and Eddie Chambers looked scary against him too, you know what I mean? And that's how the man got in position, you know what I'm saying? Let me read the chat one time. Fellas in the chat, all right? Let me see where we left off. Okay. The Fox Strike says, I wouldn't mind a Wilder White fight at this stage, no question, man. I want him to get him out of there, man. I think last year I made a video entitled Eddie Hearn and Dillian White need to leave the man Deontay Wilder the fuck alone. You know what I'm saying? Because they was talking a lot of jibber jabber. The man called Deontay Wilder a crackhead and all that. But this is all while Deontay Wilder is preparing for the Bermane-Stiverne fight. You know what I mean? That's why I said they need to leave him alone. Let that man, when he's free, when he ain't got an opponent next, like now, then you can talk that ish. You know what I mean? Okay, let's keep it moving. Dylan Gallagher's in the chat says, career high payday. Take the fight and up the UK public pressure on AJ. Facts. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Dylan Gallagher. He should have done that last year. You know what I'm saying? Up to today, 2018, March 27th, or whatever the date is today, that'd have been his biggest payday. You know what I mean? Going out there and starching the man Dillian White out there. Darius I Am King says, champions should be fighting champions whenever possible. No question, they should. They should. And AJ is fighting a champion. You know what I'm saying? He's fighting a champion. Now when the fight is over, when he's undisputed, if he does happen to be undisputed, now we're talking about these fellas need to get in the ring. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No marinating, nothing. This is not for undisputed. You check it. Fellas got to get in the boardroom, get your paper right, your negotiations, whatever y'all got to do to make that fight happen. You know, even if it wasn't a unification, undisputed, it would be for a unification, you know what I mean? But up till now, you know, the guy, Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn have been showing signs of resistance, you know what I mean? And, you know, that's why fellas have been on Anthony Joshua's neck. I haven't been so much, you know, like I said, you'd have thought I'd made a DuckTales video about it, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, you know, the man had got a fight with the unification with Joseph Parker, and I can't be mad at him for that, you know what I mean? All right. Fox Strike says they should, but they don't. So I don't kill myself over that anymore. There's I Am King says, B Marsh, he said he'll take 40%, and Eddie said he's being unreasonable. But Parker, who's a lesser draw than Wilder and bring significantly less than Wilder when it comes to money, but they gave Parker 35%. Yeah, that's that BS from Eddie Hearn and that, man. That's that BS, you know. And that's how they got the man in the ring, 35%. Unification about to happen this weekend. After that, it's all hands on deck, man. You know, got to put pressure on the powers that be, whether it's Al Heyman, Shelly Finkel, and what's that dude for Sergio Martinez, old promoter. What the fuck is his name? Lou DiBella. You know what I'm saying? Them fellas and Eddie Hearn and them, now y'all fellas, the pressure's on y'all to make this fight happen. You know what I mean? Okay, the Fox Strike says he said he'd take it as long as AJ took the same in a rematch. Yeah, that's probably where they're having difficulties, you know what I mean? Because maybe Eddie Hearn and them's team is talking about this guy's trying to dictate what happens if he loses. You know what I'm saying? If he loses. So, you know, that's probably if Wilder loses, you know what I mean? So that's probably where the discrepancies is and why they haven't given the man 40%. Darius I Am King says Wilder should move on from AJ and focus on 50-0. He should go ahead and take out White, Povetkin, Miller, Brazil, and all other contenders. I agree with you 100% on that, you know what I mean? I do. Them fellas should be trying to fight, especially these American dudes like Brazil, Miller, and yeah, those two basically. Those are the only two Americans who are viable contenders, you know what I mean? But White, right now, I think is the fight to be made, you know? That's the fight. You know, the man, Brazil and Molina's fight was like on Showtime Extreme, if it was even televised, you know what I mean? Well, Dillian White was put on HBO in the afternoon at like 6 o'clock East Coast time, you know what I mean? And they played the replay at night. That's more exposure. That's the fight he should be trying to get. The Fox Strike says exactly. That's all you can do until you get the fight. 76 Rotors. How you doing, man? He says, that would take Wilder years to go through all those fighters, especially him being so injury prone. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a lot of fighters to fight, you know what I mean? But, hey, if the fight with Anthony Joshua, if they talking about that fight ain't going to happen till 2020, maybe 2019, well, all Wilder can do, like the man King Darius says, focus on 50-0, you know what I mean? He's 40-0 now. That's 10 fights away. You check it. That'll probably take 3 years to do. But hopefully, Anthony Joshua, if he does happen to become undisputed, will take that fight. I do believe, what's his name? What's that guy's name? Joseph Parker would fight. He would take that fight with Wilder if he does happen to have 3 titles, you know what I mean? I do believe that. 76 Rotor says, how old is Wilder? 32? Yeah, he's probably 32, 33. The Fox Strike says he won't go through all of them. This fight will happen at some point. Yeah, hopefully, man. Hopefully before this year ends, you know what I'm saying? You check it if AJ becomes undisputed, that's what needs to, unifies the 3 titles. That's what needs to happen next. You check it. Darius I Am King says it's Wilder that is the longest current reigning champion and is the one that is currently showing up in the heavyweight record books, not AJ. So Wilder has legitimate claims just like AJ has his. Yeah, man, he's been a champ since January 2015. What are we in 2018? That's 3 years now, you know, 3 years strong now, and I think 7 title defenses. So Wilder just got to keep focusing on that, you know. And like I said, if Deontay Wilder extremist fans have his best interest, tell him to take that fight with Dillian White. That's $3 million for fighting a bum. You know what I'm saying? That's 3. I even heard they upped the ante up, you know what I mean? And they try to get the man $5 to $6 million. Dogs, go take that fight, man. I said that last year, man. 76 Rotor says the AJ versus Wilder fight will happen soon, fans. Soon. Fans are just being fans. 76 Rotor says Wilder has only made 2 more defenses than AJ. Is that true? How many defenses has AJ had? He beat Martin, right? He beat Molina and that's Molina and Brazil were title defenses. Takam and that's 3 only, man. What are you talking about? 76 Rotors. He's only defended his title against Molina, Brazil, and Takam. Who else? Yeah, unless I'm forgetting somebody. Deontay Wilder got 7 title defenses, man. What you talking about? Mart's MB3. How you doing, man? He says, yeah, but Parker's already a pay-per-view fighter in his country. What the fuck out of here, man? What you talking about pay-per-view in New Zealand? Man, we watch them fights for free over here. Whoever's paying to see Parker fighting. Now you see, now we go. Hey, I'm gonna have to put you on Front Street, dogs. Who the fuck pays to see Joseph Parker versus Kajini or whoever that sparring partner he looked like trash against? Come on now. Come on, man. Don't give me that. Don't give me that he's pay-per-view in this country. You know what I'm saying? How many pay-per-views does he do in New Zealand? Yeah, he's probably a big star in his country, but that don't mean nothing. Don't nobody know him in the United States. You check it? Don't nobody know him here. You know what I'm saying? Wilder's actually probably more popular he's probably more popular than that than Joseph Parker worldwide. You know what I'm saying? So all that pay-per-view, if you live in New Zealand, and I don't know if you do, then that's irrelevant. And even if you do, it is irrelevant. Talking about pay-per-views in New Zealand. That's the first time I heard somebody bring that up. Come on, man. Who's pay-per-view in United States anyways besides Cannoli? And there's plenty I could name 10, 20 fighters better than Cannoli. You just talking about a popularity thing. We ain't about that right now, guys. We talking about skill for skill, undisputed. That got nothing to do with popularity, you know what I'm saying? This is lineage for legacy, for heavyweight legacy, you know what I mean? Okay. Fox Strike says, Wang Heng Mayaneng soon to be 50-0. That's that little dude at 105 pounds, right? Yeah, he be fighting a lot of nobodies too. You check it, but again, the talent pool at 105 is pretty small compared to the other divisions. 76 Rotors, 3 years to do. Wilder ain't fighting three fights a year. How do you know? He says he wants to. How do you know? The Fox strikes, but 7 trinket defenses against who? Well, look, he beat Ortiz, and I'm pretty sure Fox strikes you picked Ortiz to beat him. Because you was campaigning hard body that they doing this man Ortiz a disservice. Well, you got your point across. They did him a disservice. He got the fight, and you seen what happened. So, against who? Just like Anthony Joshua, against who? You know what I'm saying? Besides older Klitschko, and I give him credit for that fight, but who are those other guys? You mean to tell me those other guys? Yeah, Beats, I just remembered Klitschko. He did defend IBF against Klitschko. So that's 4. Yep. 4 title defenses. All right. Fox Strike says Molina too, although that wasn't great. Yeah, I did mention Molina. Yeah, I'd mentioned that as a title defense. All right, 76 Rotors says, if AJ beat Parker, he will be 2 defenses behind Wilder. Yeah, 2 defenses still, but that doesn't mean that. I don't know what your point is. My point is that Wilder has 7 title defenses. I didn't say that the man Anthony Joshua doesn't have many title defenses or anything of that effect. Yeah, well, maybe you're going off what Darius King Irving was saying. He should focus on 50-0. Well, if that's what he does, that's what he does. The point is he does have more title defenses. Whether the guy Joshua has 4 or 3, I don't get your point. Wilder still has more title defenses. And that's not even the moral of the story. The Fox Strike says, I give him credit for Ortiz. Yeah, no question. Any real logical boxing fan would. You know what I'm saying? And Fox Strike says, that's 1. Hey, you don't got to give him credit for the other guys because like I've said in previous videos, at the end of the day, your credit won't pay Deontay Wilder's bills. It won't take care of his family. Neither will my credit for any fighter, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, our credit doesn't pay these fellas' bills, you know what I mean? We could say what we want. The fans in the world said Deontay Wilder ain't fought nobody, and they wanted him to fight Ortiz, and he did, and he beat him. So whether you give him credit for that and don't give him for the rest, it doesn't even matter at the end of the day, because at the end, personally, them fellas, all his popularity is rising. He's getting bigger paydays. He beat an opponent that nobody else wanted to face. So, really can't say nothing else after that. You know what I'm saying? You could talk about his previous opponents. Well, that's just backtracking. And at the end of the day, that really doesn't move the sport forward. And it really doesn't prove anything, because Wilder and AJ is a fight that the world wants to see right now. Okay. Where we at, man? March MB3 says, it don't matter. We watch it for free, too, in UK. If Crawford has done pay-per-views, even though it flopped, why can't the WBC heavyweight, believe it or not? That's if the reason the percentage split isn't in Wilder's favor. You see, those type of things, they don't really concern me right now. Pay-per-view but Crawford pay-per-view flop. Yeah, it flopped. Hey, he said, why they putting that fight on pay-per-view? At the end of the day, does that change the fact that Buzz is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world? No, sir. So whether you watch it for free in the UK, doesn't matter, my friend. It don't fucking matter, man. At the end of the day, nobody knows this guy outside of his New Zealand country. So, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter, you know? If they even if the look, if the guy does pay-per-view in New Zealand, he comes to England, I'm sorry, to the United States and fights Wilder, that fight won't be pay-per-view. So what does it matter? USA is still the capital of the world of boxing. You want to make it big time in boxing, you got to come to the United States. And that's a fact, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, this guy's going to get a lot of money fighting Anthony Joshua, Joseph Parker in the UK. Yeah, but at the end of the day, he still won't be known like that in the United States. Yeah, they're going to televise the fight in the United States. It depends on what kind of fight he puts up against the man, Anthony Joshua. Yeah, but he still won't have popularity like that. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, the most popular heavyweight fight in the United States is Deontay Wilder, and American fans want to see the fight with AJ. You know what I'm saying? So wherever the fight happens in England or United States, we will be tuning in. You know what I mean? The Fox Strike says when AJ fought Brazil, Martin, and White, he was on about the same level as them. I don't know about that. I picked him to beat all those guys, you know what I'm saying? The only fight that I really considered, it was, thought about it a few times was White, only off the strength of what White did to him in the amateurs, you know what I mean? We seen what happened eventually in the fight, all right? King Darius says, Oscar was more popular than Floyd when they fought. What happened? No question. No doubt about it. When Leonard was more popular when he fought Norris, what happened? Yeah, so and so on. Popularity doesn't win fights. Skill and will does. I agree with you 100%. That's why I don't even know why son brought up some fucking New Zealand pay-per-views, man. I didn't even know they do pay-per-views in New Zealand. I mean, all right, let's keep it moving, man. Reading these chats. How many of these defenses were direct mandatories? I don't know whose defenses you're talking about. Whose? AJ's or Wilder's? Main boxing biker. AJ should have fought Ortiz. Yeah, he should have, man. But I'm not mad at him for not fighting him because he got a lot of money to fight Klitschko. Put 90,000 people in Wembley. Yeah, he should have fought him. That was his mandatory, but it's a business at the end of the day, too. And fighting AJ, hey, that feels, come on, biker. I'm not going to argue too much about that because at the end of the day, Ortiz was just a mandatory while Anthony Klitschko was a unification. You know what I mean? The Fox Strike says AJ didn't want Ortiz. Mart MB3, yes, AJ should have fought Ortiz. He should have, man. But like I said, should he have fought him for decent money, a mandatory, or fought Klitschko for massive dollars in a unification fight? Come on, I think that's easy to say. Hey, one of y'all would have taken the Klitschko fight too, you know what I mean? 76 Rotor says, the last time Parker fought, it was exactly. Yeah, man, go tell Mart's MBM, whatever name, go tell him that. The last time Parker fought, it was on YouTube. And that was a dull-ass fight, and I ain't never watched it again. I was even mad I spent 45 minutes watching that fight with Huey Fury. Darius I Am King Urban says, Stavern. The Fox Strike says, I meant in terms of they were all prospect or contenders. As far as Martin, yeah, you could say, when they made that fight with Charles Martin, that did come out of nowhere. But at the end of the day, the guy Charles Martin, that guy was a bum, man. That guy wasn't no fucking real heavyweight champ. Look how he even got that belt, man. That kid, that Goaki or whatever dude's name is, Glaskov blew his knee out. That fight was kind of weak. It was fake. What they saying in the chat? Sorry, I lost my place. 76 Rotor says, what's happening with Canelo? What's happening with him? That fight's tainted and tarnished. That's what's happening, and it's all on the doing of the biggest superstar in America as far as boxing is concerned, and that's Canelo. So that's who we have to blame. What's happening with Canelo? Canelo's fucking up his legacy and his money. You know what I mean? And the man doesn't even have a world title. He's just it's not a good look for him or boxing. You know what I'm saying? Um, uh, Fox Strike says Stavern the first time around. What about Stavern the first time around? The Fox Strike says Canelo probably having some clean tacos for breakfast. One thing I do know in an hour or so, I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna be up at the little. It's Taco Tuesdays, man. The joint over there on Florida Ave, uptown, Washington D.C. I'm about to get me them $3 tacos. Get me two of them for $6 with some guacamole, and I'm gonna be full like a motherfucker. Them joints be big, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. You know what I'm saying? MB, how can people want the Ortiz fight over the Klitschko fight? Madness. Um, you know, I agree with you there, MB. I wouldn't be mad with either fighter AJ fought, but from a business perspective and standpoint, you could see um why the guy did take the Anthony Joshua fight. I'm sorry, the Klitschko fight. Um, where we at, man? Where we at? Mad chats, man. Mad people in the chat. 76 Rotor says that cleansed steak has admintanium in it. The Fox Strike says true. Darius I Am King says, I think Wilder should tell Eddie to fight White. It has to make it a stadium fight. Excuse me, a stadium fight. If Wilder White fight does 60K, that's another lie that Eddie continues to say, which is Wilder isn't known in the UK. Yeah, they know him well. They know him well, King Darius. They know him well in UK because that guy is a guy who could potentially snatch anything. He could snatch the carpet from under AJ's feet and take all his shines, all his trinkets, and he still might be popular in England. Still even if Wilder beats him, he still will probably make more bigger paydays than Wilder. But just the fact, the man said he's scared of losing, man. He said he's scared of losing. That's all I gotta say. You know what I'm saying? Main bike boxing biker says Parker struggles with B class opposition, no question. I thought he lost his world title fight for the vacant WBO versus the Mexican kid, Andy Ruiz. Fox Strike says Takam beat Parker. Yeah, I think I had that fight 7-5 for Parker, but it could have gone either way the way I saw it. Um, March MB3 says so basically the same reason why AJ fight Wilder instead of Ortiz is the same reason why Parker chose to fight AJ first. Well, look, I'm not mad at the guy. I will call the man's bluff, Joseph Parker, for coming over to the USA, to Alabama, sit in front row, ringside, to see Wilder beat up or knock out, what's his name, Gerald Washington, right? They were supposed to be in negotiations. You check it. But Wilder says, I don't know. I'm not in the room with these guys in the negotiations room. But Wilder says the dude faked. They talked about it. They were in negotiations. But apparently the dude just stopped picking up his phones and he just ceased all communication with Wilder. That's what Wilder says. You know what I mean? And if the guy Joseph Parker went and got his little title defense versus Huey Fury, bullshit fight that was on YouTube, and now he's going for the bigger payday versus Anthony Joshua, I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him one bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to say he's ducking Wilder because he's going for a unification regardless. This is going to be for a bigger payday than he'd ever get versus Wilder. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, But eventually, them belts going to have to become undisputed. Deontay Wilder's the lone wolf. He's standing all alone, the lone ranger, you know what I'm saying? Sooner than later, fellas got to get that WBC belt that fellas like Lennox Lewis, fellas like Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, even though Riddick threw it in the trash. You know what I'm saying? Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes, all these great fighters have held that WBC belt, you know what I mean? And hey, does age Wilder is already in that category, you know what I'm saying? Say what you want about his title defenses. That's just backtracking because you already know he beat the toughest dude in the heavyweight division. This apart from Deontay Wilder and AJ. Luis Ortiz to me was a top 3 dude, you know what I mean? He got him out of there in the 10th round. You check it now. If AJ or Parker, whoever comes out of that fight on top, now we're gonna be talking about undisputed, and now you're gonna see me putting my foot on fellas next, not Deontay Wilder, because he wants either of them. You know what I mean? That's when you might see a DuckTales video rise. That's when you might see me, hey, going in on Anthony Joshua. Like now, the ball's in your court, big man. You know what I'm saying? Monts MB3 says Vladimir. Okay. Darius Iron King says, yes, I know Wilder is very known in the UK, but Eddie keeps talking about he needs to raise his profile in the UK because no one knows him. And Wilder is just trying to get popular by using AJ's name. Well, Eddie Hearn is full of ish, man. He's full of ish like a bathroom. You know what I'm saying? He's not using. What do you mean using Anthony Joshua's name? I mean, the man is a champion just like him. What the fuck is Eddie talking about? We want to see the best fight the best. That's why, it's a unification fight on top of that, and it might be for undisputed fight after this weekend. You know what I'm saying? That's what the possibilities that'll be on the table. So it's not about using anybody's name. You check it. It's a fight that real boxing fans who don't care who, they just want to see a great fight that they need to see, and it can't get any more marinating or try to wait for it to get more publicity pop. No, it's right now. It should be the fight next if Anthony Joshua does so happen to get to Joseph Parker. 76 Rotor says, of course Wilder is known in the UK, but only by boxing fans. You see, I can't really speak so much about that. I don't live in the UK. I don't know. I've been to London. I was out there in like 2001. That was a long time ago. So I don't know who knows him over there, you know what I'm saying? But I do know some casual fans over here after Wilder destroyed Ortiz in the 10th round. The next time I seen him, all they were asking me was about, man, when is AJ and Wilder going to happen? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Mart MB3 says, really, Wilder and Parker should have fought each other, but they're both chasing the cash cow. Yeah, the cash cow is AJ, and AJ is the number one guy in the division. He has 2 belts, so it's only right you chase that guy. You know what I'm saying? If you feel you can beat him, he's getting all this publicity and shine and recognition, and you think, man, I could snatch that from him, then no question. You should be chasing the cash cow. That's what all the fighters did versus Floyd, you know what I'm saying? Some fighters thought they could beat Floyd. Well, some fellas what's the guy's name? Victor Ortiz and Robert Guerrero, they had no shot. You know what I'm saying? Fellas like Shane Mosley came to fight, though. Yeah, up until, his right hand got nullified for 10 rounds after that second round. You know what I mean? All right. 76 Rotor says, if he did fight White, he'd definitely get known by the casuals. Good point, especially in England. No question about it, you know what I mean? Because the whole boxing world, whether it's UK and USA, people pay attention. They seen what happened, and they think that fight should happen next. And I do too, because Anthony Joshua, like I said, he calls the shots. If he doesn't want to fight Wilder, if he's going to make excuses, Wilder, don't wait for this guy. Keep him moving, you know what I'm saying? Fox Strike says, yeah, notice Wilder wasn't calling Parker out as much as AJ, and it's understandable. They all want that moolah, no doubt about it. Maybe Wilder didn't even have to call him out that much because they were in the process of negotiations. You know what I'm saying? That fight was probably inevitable, but the dude pulled out the negotiations. Main Boxing Biker says, I got family in Canada asking me about the Bronze Bomber dude, and they not even into boxing. That's what's up, man. Whole world need to be talking about this heavyweight spectacular fight. Mart MB3 says, if this was a playoff, Wilder jumping matches while AJ's going through the rounds and one match from the final. Fox Strike says, yep, just go and KO White in the UK. I agree 100%. That's what should be next for AJ. I'm sorry, Wilder. And I didn't see what AJ's Instagram. I'm sorry, Wilder's Instagram, but the man Dan the Man Boxing, big ups to Dan the Man Boxing. Go check his channel out. Good channel, you know what I mean? Them fellas was talking about the same day Wilder called out Dillian White on social media on that Instagram thing, you know what I mean? So he wants to fight, you know what I'm saying? Now it's just a matter of are you gonna go over there to England, take that fight? Because I would think you're gonna get more money over there. You know what I'm saying? Or you're going to try to bring Dillian White to BKNY to the Barclays Center. You know what I mean? Personally, I'd like Wilder to go to England. You know what I'm saying? Go fuck him up in front of the English fans. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'd like to see. You know what I mean? You check it. And Wilder going out there is, it's not no decision thing, not no points victory. That's out. You traveling to a man's hometown, you gotta go knock his block off. You know what I mean? Can't leave the fight in the hands of the judges. You check it. But my point is, for this whole video, and thanks for everybody. I'm about to seal the deal on this live stream. You know what I mean? My point is, a lot of Wilder extremists. I'm not gonna call them fanatics, because short of fanatics is fans. You know what I mean? And there's some good fans out there, and they're just some extremists. They keep talking about this guy Dillian White needs to do more. That's the same kind of thing you were saying for AJ. That Wilder, the AJ fans were saying that Wilder need to do more. White's done enough. I don't even like White, man. I told y'all last time I spoke about White on a video was last year. I said White and Eddie Hearn need to leave Deontay Wilder the fuck alone, because in my opinion they were trying to distract him off the task at hand, and the task at hand at that particular time was fighting Stavern. But they were all up in the man's social media, making videos. They kept bothering the man. That's why I made that video. You check it. And now they're doing the same thing. These extremist Wilder fans are doing the same thing for Dillian White. The man gone through 2 title eliminators. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck y'all fellas scared of? I ain't scared for Wilder to fight Dillian White. I think he'll fuck him up. And that's what he need to do. Go out there, knock his block off. And then put the pressure on the man AJ. And in my opinion, there should be an incentive in the contract. If he does come to England and fight this guy, then AJ must be next for unification. For undisputed, you know what I mean? B-Marsh Boxing about to seal the deal. What's happening? I see Mr. Boxing today in the chat. What's going on, big man? Glad to see you in the chat. Glad to see everybody who participated in the chat. Love y'all comments and everything y'all put out there. Everybody made a good point, you know what I'm saying? Let me read the last few joints before I seal the deal on this. MB says, keep doing your thing, B. Marsh. Love the boxing talk on here. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. That means a lot, you know what I'm saying? I could really be going in a lot on these Wilder and Anthony Joshua stuff, but to me, it's just blowing hot air because them fellas had fights in front of them. You know what I mean? Why I'm going to keep talking about AJ and Wilder when, I picked Wilder to beat Ortiz, but that was a dangerous opponent. That was the best fighter he ever faced in his career. I'm not overlooking that man. No, sir. No, sir. That man could knock off Wilder's block. He won the first 4 rounds. You know what I mean? And, hey, Wilder pulled it off just like I thought he would, and that's why I let that fight be. You know what I'm saying? Let them fellas do what they got to do, and Anthony Joshua has a unification right now, 3 belts on the line with Joseph Parker. I'm going to let him handle his business. Now, after that, it's all about undisputed talk. You know what I'm saying? All right. What they saying in the chat? Fox Strike says, difference with fans and fanboys. Yes. 76 Rotor says, boxing is so fucked up. When the titles are unified, the undisputed champ will have to vacate. Then the titles will get scattered again, like what happened to TC, Terrence Crawford. Yeah. That only happened because they told the man Bud to fight the man Limpinets. Limpinets was like, Bud was like, man, I'm moving on to bigger and better things. Ain't nothing else to do at 140. Bud could have fought dude. He could have fought Limpinets, you know what I'm saying? And still kept all his 4 titles. But what's the point? He cleaned out the division. 76 Rotor says exactly. Fox Strikes tells 76 Rotors exactly. That's why I stopped looking at belts. 76 Rotors says, I agree at the Fox Strikes back. 76 Rotors says it's a joke. Mr. Boxing today says, I guess White done enough to fight Wilder, and Wilder's done enough to fight AJ versus Parker winner. No question about it. And that's what should be next, depending on what happens on this 31st of March. The Fox Strike says, what boxing should have done is make a WBA, WBC, WBO, and IBF league with proper rankings, then have a tournament about every 2-3 years for undisputed. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be nice. I ain't mad at that. And my criteria, I think for every fighter every champion should be 1 mandatory a year, 1 voluntary a year, and at the end of the year, a unification with any of the other 3 champions in the division. You know what I mean? Fox Strike says, And when the guy either leaves the division or whatever, make the same setup to fill the spot again. You check it. So I agree with you on that, man. You know what I'm saying? If the boxing was more, had more governing policies as far as, like tournament styles or, fellas can't be done. But boxing is a renegade sport, man. Boxing is a kind of sport where fellas can say, man, I ain't fighting him. Nope. Look at Carl Froch and Adonis Stevenson back in the day. I ain't fighting him, you know. And fellas, the fans of that particular fighter will let him get away with it. You know what I mean? Well, it could be the best fight or many other fights where fellas have said, no, I'm not fighting him. Nope. I'm staying away from him. You check it. 76 Rotors says, great stream. And on that, 76 Rotors, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. I'm about to seal the deal, man. Cut this off, man. I got moves to make, you know what I mean? Gotta get up and make my daily bread, you know what I'm saying? And at lunchtime, I'm looking forward to Taco Tuesdays, you know what I'm saying? If you're ever in Washington, D.C., check out Rita Loco on, what's that, Florida Avenue, right on 7th in Florida. It's a famous block, you know what I mean? These are blocks where the famous Florida Ave grill is at, where fellas like Rayful Edmonds and Alpo used to be, and just around the corner, you can't miss Rita Locos, man. They got great burritos and tacos, man, and the price is right, you heard? All right, I'm about to seal the deal. Thanks a lot for everybody participating. Fox Strikes, I'm going to read your last comment right quick because it makes a lot of sense. Like, even with the WBSS and top contenders still refusing to enter the tournament. Exactly. And if shit was ran right, they shouldn't be allowed to do that with no reasonable excuse. I agree with you 100%, man. Look at James DeGale, these fellas. Yeah, he was injured. He ain't want to get in that tournament. He fought Caleb Truex, thought he was easy works. He got his ass beat. B-Marsh Boxing, thanks for everybody for coming through. About to seal the deal, and I'm gone. Peace.